Good day, context traders. Today is September 10th, 2025, and I want to go over with you the opening crash play. So, this was a trade that I took today that's a little bit more advanced. This is one that you may feel a little less secure with. You have to have a little bit of faith with this one. But what do we have here? We're opening up with a large gap up in the day. Now, normally, this is one of my go-to trades. One of my favorite trades is the large gap, and we have the return attempt to fill the gap. I was a little bit more cautious on this one today, however, because we gapped up above all-time highs. So I was a little bit concerned that maybe it would just be a quick snap and then pop again if it was to bounce off of those all-time highs, if it was to find some support. So I paused a little bit on this one initially and didn't catch it right as it was opening, which I often like to try to do. So I let this one drop. It was dropping, it was dropping, it was dropping. And after about the first minute, and I could see that this was going to really try to make an effort to push down, I took a small position. I took a much smaller position than my normal size position, which is a third size position, anticipating that this would be a full 2 minute candle down. And because it turned into such a large 2 minute candle, I want to talk through the execution of the crash bar. So if I see one of these large power bars, particularly early in the day, or coming from a point of control or a moving average wide or narrow state. So these are kind of the areas I'm looking for. So like an obvious point of control where we saw price react aggressively, or if I see moving averages, narrow state or wide state, or on these opening gap plays, I'm often looking at this. Okay. So because we gapped up, we should anticipate strength to the upside. So this works often better if it's moving in that direction. But because we gapped so far, this is where I'm anticipating the downside crash. And oftentimes the put energy bars are going to work better than the call energy bars, um, just because of the nature of panic and selling and profit taking. But anyways, I'm digressing. So let's look at the execution of this. So this bar drops. I get in smaller position because I was in so late, and I was concerned that if this thing started moving against me, that I was going to get out. We got the full 2 minute candle, and so what I did is I layered in, and I put limit orders at the 1/3 and 1/2 mark. So in case we had a quick snap, I wanted to get filled. So 1/3, 1/2. If it goes past 1/2, I don't want it anymore. So I'm thinking that just like we think of like a fib on a longer move, we're looking for that 50, 60% retrace and continuation. Well, we can do it on a single bar. If it holds the 1/3 or if it holds the 1/2, I have good confidence that it's going to continue and at least come back to the bottom of the range, give me an opportunity to make a decision at that point. If it goes beyond that, then I may be looking for an opportunity to go the other direction, looking for the right setup. So this one crashes down. It fills. I did get in manually, then it filled me on this pop here, and so now I'm in with two lots. This bar falls down, wicks all the way down to 582.11, close enough to an institutional number, starts to bounce back up, and I exited that initial position as it was covering the wick of that 2 minute candle. So we see this could be a sweep and a continuation up. So I did take that position off there quickly. This was a very quick, impulsive move, but it was nice. I was able to get uh, close to 80, 90 cents there on the first fill. And on the second fill, that dropped and added another 30 to 40 cents for me. And so that was pretty nice total for that initial. And then it pops right back in and it fills me up here at the halfway point for that continuation down. As soon as we clear that 582.30 area, I'm feeling pretty good. I move my stops to break even. And then I Actually exited this. I didn't quite get the whole move. I was looking for this to get into the 21 on the two, and I ended up quitting this trade right in here as it was pushing back up. So you can see, so let's just go through this bar by bar, crash down, bounces off the 10, but it's holding this area right there. It's holding right below those bodies, falls down again, bounces. It's very wicky, very whippy today. This was not smooth by any means whatsoever. But if we just look at the structure of the bars, look at all these closes. The closes are all coming up to the same area, and they're all just below those closes of those first 4 minutes. So I'm still feeling pretty good about it until we get this long wick bar. So we came down, it fought its way up, pushed all the way back down, and it couldn't continue to the downside. So I went ahead and exited there. So as this bar started pushing back up, I didn't like that we had all that down pressure and it couldn't continue. So I got out of that trade there, just under 582. I was in up here just above 583, so picked up another dollar right there. It did continue and drop a little lower. Um, Found support and then started to pop back up and ended up taking calls um, back up a little bit late, honestly. Probably should have been down here closer, but I let this prove itself to me and I got in right there when this 2 minute candle was canceling out the body of that small rocket candle. And so took this up, held this for a while. I sold some back in this same zone, held some runners, let it chop around for a while until it finally beat me in submission and I exited just because I couldn't see it getting any higher. And that was about it for most of the day. I didn't see anything else I liked until later in the day. So I ended up, I saw this cascading down, but I'd left my computer. I'd been back and forth and I missed some of the good opportunities. Wasn't at my trading station when a couple of those better trade opportunities came up. I missed this one. I missed this one. So I guess we can go over those real quick. You can see this rolling over. And so when we get a nice move away and it holds under the 10, that was a nice extension down. Got back into, what do you know, that same area. And then when this formed that double bottom here, really nice entry, but I missed that one as well. Um, Good opportunity here, right around the noon Eastern hour. Again, I didn't take any of these. I think some members of our community jumped on this area here, and then the continuations. We have the 1, 2, 3. That was nice. This did go flat, so if you wanted to hold this to try to get down to the 200, that's a nice opportunity. Um, the next one that I got into was not until here. So I was back and I saw this crack through the 200 pull back. Again, this is a 2 minute chart for reference. And I got in right here when this wicked off of the 200 and started falling back below. So now we have the narrow state. The narrow state, the 21 is diving down, the 200 is flattening out, and so I caught this one here, took a little bit of profit at the bottom as this was popping back up. And then I added into my position here as this was stalling. And then I got a nice move, had a nice C retrace explosion down. And I exited this trade right there as this came back up into the moving averages. So that was a nice move. Total move, dollar cost averaged in here from 581. See 581.20 and I was in up here at 581.40, so about 581.30, 35. Dollar cost averaged into there, out down here at 580 and a quarter. And then I did take one final trade here at the end of the day. I saw that we had completely filled the gap. We tried to push back up and we were stalling here, right? So we had this whole gap area. We're stalling back. So we're stalling back just below that gap area. Sometimes when you get a gap fill, it'll climb back on top and then continue. This one was holding, so I thought that was interesting. So ended up taking this trade right there as this was falling, got out, came back up. Um, Held this one a little too long. This candle ate up a little bit more profit than I would have liked to have given back. I wasn't anticipating this snapping so hard after we'd come down here. Just mismanaged that one a little bit. No problem though. Still profitable on the exit. Then this last dump was really nice. So we had, all right, we have one, two, three 2 minute candles, no follow through. Fourth candle starts to fall below the 21. In right here, it crashes through. Supreme confidence now that we should get at least a continuation back to this level. Added in to this one here. So I got one, two lots in, and then we got this nice extension down. I was looking clear back into this area right here. I thought, oh, okay, that's a nice area to aim for. Um, Beautiful candle, just slammed right into it. Actually cleared it by a little bit, and this one popped back up, and I ended up getting out right there when it didn't hold the structure when it climbed back into the range. So again, gave back gave back a little bit on that one, which sometimes just my personal trading, if I'm up, if I'm doing well for the day, I'm willing to give a little bit more room on the leash to see if it's going to continue and keep spilling. But obviously, it pushed back up, pulled back into this zone, and finished out the day nice and strong. So this was another nice trade. I let this one go. I was watching this one in real time, and I just decided I'd taken enough trades for the day and let it go. But when you saw this candle explode back out and take out all of that, curling up, it finished the day really nice. So, anyways, point of this video was really to go mostly over this initial crash bar for the day. So take note of that. Go back, look at previous days. Look at those moments where you see those aggressive bars back down, and then see how much of a retrace you get in the subsequent 2 or 3 bars. Look at that. You can look at it on any time frame. The 15, the 5, the 2, the 1, doesn't matter. It works. Just pay attention. I personally like the 2 minute time frame for these early morning plays. But you can see the same thing happen with these types of crash energy bars throughout the day on different time frames as well. All right. So I hope that helped everyone out a little bit, give you some homework to look at going forward. As always, drop some comments for me. Let me know what you learned, what you found valuable, what you can apply to your trading going forward. And until next time, happy trading. Best of luck.